which we deal with God, the same mind can be used to go deep into your own real nature. Neva Manushyana Aham Bandham Shafa. So you are seated comfortably with your feet, those who are sitting on the chair, with your feet planted on the ground firmly and hands resting on the knees or on the lap. Your attention between the eyebrows, the movement of object, Karma Chakra, which is seat of the third eye. It opens inward. And other two eyes opens outward. So having fulfilled our material needs to a certain extent, it is time for us to go inward, to deepen our identity beyond the body, mind, intellect, ego, and memories. A deepened identity alone can help us to withstand the storms of daily living. Like a deeply rooted tree can stand the storm. Maybe a couple of branches can fall, few ripe fruits may fall, few yellow leaves may fall, branches may fall, but the tree at the end of the day stands tall and full. So that's our destination. And this is possible by relentless observation without reaction. You observe the sensate world, observe the mental world of emotions and thoughts and aspirations, feelings and frustrations and accomplishments, and the ego who presides over all these experiences. One has to watch all of them. That alone can free you from the bhava-dukkha, the suffering caused by attachment and expectation. And the fundamental expectation is happiness. I want to be happy. And the world can make me happy. I can rearrange the world. And in a rearranged world, I expect to be happy. I can shuffle the furniture in my room. That may make me happy. Those kind of pseudo pursuits. So the deepening of our awareness, finding our deeper roots, is what spirituality is about. It is not a trouble turning your face against the world. It is finding the root. Buddha-mula-madasha. And the materialistic world is increasingly discovering this truth. With all the conveniences and comforts that we have created, has not made our life easier. In fact, we are comfortably unhappy. So that paradox of, in the midst of comfort, we find the rootless, homeless, hopeless, sleepless, tenants. We may cover all these problems by entertainment, drugs, sex, or power, or others. But they all are band-aids. The ulcer beneath the still festering, giving you pain. The Shankaracharya dramatizes the existential angst and agony of this intelligent student, the Sarasvati, who made his mark in the world. And he is honest enough to admit that he has a problem, or she has a problem. And their admittance is the first step. Then the diagnosis, then the treatment, or bhava yoga. And the Guru is the physician, or bhava yoga. A kind glance from the corner of the eye of the Guru is enough. Just like the sun, just like the mist and disappears, clearing the valley of all mist, and everything is clear. Similarly, the presence of the teacher, the touch of the word or a glance. So that kind of a relationship with the teacher and the student. The teacher has already crossed the samsara and has come back, returned with that secret knowledge. And we follow the teachings with great faith, devotion. That's the kind of interaction we have been seeing. That exciting interaction. The transforming, self-transforming interaction. So that they are the healing Sarasvati. The Guru, by placing his thumb between your eyebrows, opens literally, not literally, but figuratively, places the thumb between your eyebrows, activates the prefrontal cortex, super spiritual intelligence. And hence we focus our attention between the eyebrows, the Atman chakra, the seat of command and control. Where you funnel invisible, immeasurable, and once the spirit awakens and overwhelms the mind and body and the whole world through you, that is the state of Jivan Mukti, embodied enlightenment, living liberated. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, so let's see the Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta. Gocharam Tamagocharam. Govindam Paramanandam. Satgurum Pranadosmyaham. Jandunam Narajanmadurlabhamadapum stvam tado viprada. Tasmad Vaidika Dharma Marga Parada Vidutvamasmad Param. Atman Atma Vivejanam Sanubhavo Brahmatmana Samstidhi. Muktirno Shadakoti Janma Sukrude Punnir Vina Lebhyade. Durlabham Trayame Vedade Devanugraha Hetukam Manushyatvam Mumutshutvam Mahapurusha Samshaya. The Shishya comes to the environment of the teacher, sits at his lotus feet or her lotus feet, and then requests, give me a kind glance in the corner of your eye, or says, Sejya, Siddhehi, Suchidehi, Sejaya, shower me, give me a cool shower. By your words, your kind words, loving words, which is soaked in Brahmanandam, he said. So those words give me Brahmanandam, not Vishayanandam, not Sushuptyanandam. Those Anandam we know already, Sushuptyanandam, Vishayanandam, they are all perishing and perilous also. I need Brahmanandam, he said, which is inexhaustible. Vishayanandam is exhaustible. After some time you get tired, isn't it? 1 laddu, 2 laddu, 3 laddu, 4 laddu become a cannonball. Or I talk to a person whom I love, after some time we say, let me take a break. And the phone will also be going up. So those kind of pleasures are perishable and poisonous. It leads you to addictions. Addiction is you need more and more while you are getting less and less, like a drug addiction. So I need that Brahmanandam, that inexhaustible, inexpensive, without side effect. That's the beauty of Brahmanandam. It is inexhaustible, you can draw endlessly. Inexpensive, no money required. You don't have to go anywhere.
wherever you are, and no side effect. That's the beauty of Brahmanandam. That Brahmanandam I need, he says. So, that figuratively said, Guru's words fall on me like a cool shower. I am roasted from all sides and I need the present. So this is some of the very, in all civilizations you find, not only Indian civilization, Western civilization, Chinese, Japanese or African, this Africa medicine man, Guru. China, Confucius, Guru. Why Confucius? He confuses. Guru sometimes confuses. Or Western, Christ or Moses or Muhammad. So you find these kind of great masters who lead us to the spiritual destination. Because it's a very subtle path, it's a pathless path. It's not a well-defined path. So Guru has to hold us by our little finger and walk. That help is necessary. And the more you reject that, the more you suffer, he says. So for everywhere, for a legal problem you go to a lawyer, a medical problem you go to a doctor, for a financial problem you go to an accountant, isn't it? Alone you cannot do those things. Similarly, here we need help. So together we can prevail, he says. Separate we fall. Together the Guru and Shishya can prevail. So Tadhavadandam, he goes and finally, let us read this 53 verse. Okay. Yes. Tathavadandam sharanagatam sum samsara davanalatabhataptam nirichya karunya rasardra drishtya dadyadabhidim sagasa mahatma. The immediate response of the Guru is abhidim dadyad. Give him that sense of protection. Don't worry. There is a solution. There is a solution. I have the solution with me. So give him that assurance, he said. Dadyad abhidim sagasa mahatma. Mahatma means this great person. What happened? Huh? Chapter 12. 43, yeah. Vidwan satasmei ubasatti miyushe mumukshave sadhu yathokta karine prashanta chittaya shamanyudaya tatto vadesham kribayeva kuryad. So Vidwan, Saha Vidwan, this knowledgeable teacher, Guru, Vidwan, Upasatyumi Yushe Mumutshave, this Mumukshu, seeker of moksham, he has approached you and then you have to respond. It's your duty, Guru's duty to respond. Tasmei, Upasatyim, Tasmei Adhigarinam, Upasatyimi Yushe, who approached Mumutshave, sadhu yadhokta karine, who is willing to follow your advice. That is yadhokta kari. The Guru says, sit down for 2 minutes, you sit. Read this scripture, you read. So whatever the Guru instructs, you are ready to follow. Yadhokta kari. Vihida anuštadra, he says, yadhokta kari. He is ready to follow implicitly. Not pretend he is following, he is really following, he says, yadhoktagari. Prashanta chittaya samanyuda, and the Shishya is prashanta chitta, relatively calm. Shamanyuda, endowed with that inner peace. Tattobadesham kribaya eva kuryat. So give him tattvopadesham, that advice, give him that advice. Nirdesham, giving him the direction. Kripaya, with great compassion, not with arrogance. Gurudev, this wretched came at my feet and then I am condescending to teach this person. No. You are with great compassion, you are teaching. Because the Guru knows he is Brahman, but he is just out of ignorance he is suffering. So there is great compassion for this person. And with that attitude, the Guru-Shishya Samvada begins now. Next. Ma bhaishta vidvan tavanastya samsara sindho taranesthyubhayah yenaiva yadaya dayosya param tameva margam tava nirdishami. Ma bhaishta vidvan. So ma bhut bhayam ma bhut. Don't be afraid. There is no need for any fear. Be fearless. Ma bhaishta vidvan. Ma bhut bhayam ma bhut. Tava nastya bhaya. There is no danger for you. The tiger which was chasing you, I stopped him on the gate, he says. Within here, in the ashram, you are safe. All the tigers are all roaming around, but I have put a firewall around you. Nothing can affect you. Ma bhaishta vidvan. There is no need of fear. What a nice advice he says. Consoling advice. There is nothing to fear. Ma bhaishta vidvan. Even when you go to a doctor knows you are dying within 3 days. The doctor will say, there is no problem, I will cure you. Because once you die, you are not able to question him. So lawyer, no problem, you are a criminal, murdered somebody. He comes, the lawyer says, no fear, I can save you. Similarly an accountant, all kind of crooked accounts, he is a straightened, isn't it? So whether he does or not, but here the Guru says, here is a solution. There is nothing to fear. Your fear is meaningless. Ma bhaishta vidvan tavanastya bhayah. There is no danger for you. Samsara sindhoho taranest asthyubhayah. So there is a way of reaching the other shore. That is a way. I will give you a boat. You can sit in that. And the same ocean can be used to cross the ocean, provided you have a boat. But make sure the water doesn't enter into the boat. That you have to make sure. Make sure the water doesn't enter into the boat. If the water enters into the boat will sink along with you. So the only thing you have to do is let the water of the ocean not enter into the boat. Boat means your mind. I will give you the Viveka Buddhi boat. So the world itself becomes a sea for you to cross with this boat. If the water enters into the boat, then I cannot help. So that's why Vairagya. You should not let the external factors influence you. Like you develop your immunity. Don't this pathogen and all kind of viruses don't affect you. They are all there. But because your immunity, your white corpuscles are ready to fight against these pathogens that attacks you. So similarly, I will boost your immunity, so that you are well protected, spiritual immunity. Little bit of Viveka, little bit of Vairagya, Samadhi, Shadka, Sambhati. With this you will be able to protect yourself. There is nothing to fear. The same ocean becomes the path, the way, if you have a boat. If you don't have a boat, you will drown. And the boat is this Viveka, Vairagya, etc. So, ma bhaishta vidvan tavanastya bhayah samsara sindhoho tarane asti ubhayah. There is a way. And Yenaiva Gada. So this boat is a well-tested and tried boat. You know, there's the roller coaster ride. Those who have gone through that, they know that. Roller coaster ride. Or the ropeway. If the ropeway comes and sits, and immediately you have to get into that. Otherwise it will go, dragging you. So you sit in the ropeway comfortably and it will take you to the destination. It's all well arranged. So you have to believe in the system. It's all well arranged. You have to simply sit. It will take you to the other shore. So, Yeneva Yada, by which path? Yadayahatra Param. Ancient masters, they have walked this path, used this method, and they have found it's very effective, its efficacy has been tried and tested. I guarantee you. I guarantee. It's all insured. So don't worry. Yeneva Yada Yadayaha Asya Param Samsarasya Param, the other shore. Tameva Margam Tava Nirdishami. The same boat I am giving you. Same method I am, which is well tried and tested. It has been proved its efficacy since time immemorial. That's the method. This is not a new method. New method you have to try and test it, isn't it? It's the oldest method I am giving you, you say. Use this with a confidence. And you'll reach the other shore. Tava nirdishami. I am going to give you that method. These are all drama. The conversation between the Guru and the Shishya. They are trying to understand each other, and the tango, the dance between Guru and Shishya, that's what is happening here. Continuing. Astyubayo mahan kaschid samsara bhayanashanaha tena tirtva bhavam bodhim paramanandamapsyasi. So Shankaracharya followed the Vyasa, let us say. Vyasa followed Yajnavalkya. Yajnavalkya followed the rishis who came before him. So there is an unbroken chain of tradition of teaching. Bhagavan himself says in Bhagavad Gita. What does he say? Maya, I taught you this long to Vivaswan. Vivaswan manave praha manuricchvagava bravad evam parambara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. So Bhagavan says it's a parambara vidya. Parambara vidya. It's not my creation. It's not a new knowledge. It's an old is gold, isn't it? Old is gold. So this is the oldest knowledge. And hence, so asti ubayaha mahan kaschid samsara bhayanashana. There is an ubaya. There is ubaya, a method. A methodology has been already developed of teaching and unfolding and unlocking the scripture. And its efficacy has been proved long back. So asti ubaya, there is a ubaya, there is a method. Mahan kaschid, great. Samsara bhayanashana, which can put an end to samsara, suffering. Samsara means suffering. Just as you sleep in a comfort of your master bedroom, then a tiger chases you. Tiger chases you. And you are outrunning the tiger. The tiger is fast and then finally almost lapping at your heels. Then you find a wall. And you are trying to scramble over the wall. And the tiger is already touched your leg, let us say. And at that time you wake up. When you wake up, there is no tiger, there is no running, there is nothing. So the samsara dukkha is something like that. It is a dream, a scary dream. And you wake up with a cold sweat. End of the day, isn't it? After that dream, then you smile. There is no tiger, my God. So Guru's drishti, look, will give you that assurance. And then when you look at, you shake up and look at, there's nothing to fear. The fear was a kind of hallucination. That's what is happening. So, Astyubayo Mahan Kaschid, Samsara Bhayanashana, to remove the suffering of samsara. So Guru can give a mantra, Guru can give you a look or a touch, or as I told you, anything. Guru has different strategies to lift you from the samsara sagara. Astyubayo Mahan Kaschid. So what is the upaya Guru will be using here? You can foresee that. The Tattvamasi Mahavakya Upadesha. That's what he is doing. Tattvamasi Mahavakya Upadesha. And then Mahavakya is to be reflected upon. Not repeat. Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. It's not repetition. Mantra you have to repeat. Mahavakya has to reflect on that. So then Mahavakya, Tattvamasi will. So that is the Ubaya, the Rishi is saying. Why it is an Ubaya? Because there is hardly any distance between you and Brahman. You the seeker of Brahman and Brahman the sought, there is hardly any distance. That's why it's a pathless path. So the sleep here in the ashram and you dream you have reached Tokyo, let's say. There you are meeting the Prime Minister of Tokyo and Japan, and then you are striking a trade deal and all that. And then suddenly you wake up. Where do you wake up, in Tokyo or what? You wake up in your bedroom. How did you come here so fast? At least it should take 4 or 5 hours to reach here, isn't it? And you need a vehicle and all that. That is why Ubaya. Actually there is no distance between you and Brahman. There is no distance at all. You are already there. But we don't recognize. It's a matter of recognition. Pratyabhijna is the word used. I am. You have to recognize. I am Brahman. That recognition. There is no covering distance or time or anything is necessary. That's why it's called Ubaya, an easy path. Mahan Kaschid Samsara Bhayanashana Tena Tirtva Bhavam Bodhim Paramanandam Avapsasi. So by this Ubaya, you can cross this seamless sea of water and then you can reach the other shore, he says. Bhavam Bodhim. Ambodhi means ocean. Bhava means just suffering. Paramanandam avapsasi. You can attain supreme joy. Even to hear it is interesting, isn't it? Even to hear it. And there is a solution to hear it. It's interesting. So Guru is only just waking you up. You are dreaming and you are, in the dream you are sleepwalking or you are talking something in the dream, and then when you wake up, Guru says, wake up, wake up. Wake up to the truth. Which is your true nature. So, Tena Tirtva Bhavam Bodhim Paramanandam Avapsasi. That is a promise. I can make you the happiest person in the world. Continuing. So, what is that Ubaya? Next. Vedantartha Vijarena Jayade Jnanamuttamam Tenatyantika samsara dukkhanasho bhavatyanu Vedantartha vijarena jayade jnanamuttamam Tenatyantika samsara dukkhanasho bhavatyanu. Coming back to the same thing. What is the Ubayam? Vedantartha Vijaram is study of Vivekachoodamani. That is a Vedanta. Study the Vivekachoodamani thoroughly. Reflect on that. So this Vivekachoodamani Vangmayam, that is the scripture, is the boat with which you can cross the ocean of suffering, he says. So Vedanta What is Veda and Vedanta difference? Veda, Vedanta. Veda is the prior part, Vedanta is the later part of the Vedic corpus of Vedic literature. So the earlier portion of the Veda, you study the mantras, 10,000 mantras are there. Rigveda, 10,000 mantras, long and short and all that. And the same Rigvedic mantras put in, reordered for ritualistic purpose in the Yajurveda. Mantras are almost the same. The same mantras put to music is Samaveda. So these are the three Vedas, three Vedas. Atharva Veda is class apart. So when we chant, the Nambudhiris chant Veda mantra, it's little musical, isn't it? It's slightly different. Whereas the Tamilian chant the Veda mantras, very noisy and then very, that kind of. And if you go to Andhra, you have to close your ears to listen to they make so much noise. So different people chant it differently. Same mantra. Gayatri mantra or Purusha Suktam and all that. So the mantras. Earlier it was only mantra, looking at the nature, the sunrise, the moonrise, the season, the clouds and thunder and the lightning and the stars, studded night. The Rishi just looked at it in great wonder. He burst into poetry, exploded into poetry. Not all of them, some of them. Everybody cannot be a poet, only few people can be a poet. That's a way of understanding the world in terms of poetry, a poet's understanding of the world. So the Rishi exploded into poetry and put it in metrical form, and that's the Veda. Only adoring nature and natural forces gave them human characteristics. Anthropocentric view, they say, human characteristics. So Indra wielding the thunderbolt, Yama riding the buffalo, or Varuna riding a fish or something. So these kind of human characteristics were given. That is one interesting way of understanding nature. So they exploded into poetry. Then they thought by praising gods, you can get some boons from them. As we have seen in the morning, if I praise you, Dad, you are the greatest dad, can I borrow 50 rupees? Isn't it? Or I need a pair of shoes, or I need a cell phone. Dad melts like butter and gives you that, isn't it? So here we praise the gods, and it's expecting that gods will give you all the boons, rain, cattle, success in war, and good harvest, and protection from all the demons. Demons are already in your mind. So those are the demons, and you externalize those demons. So we need a protection. The ghosts are there. Some ghost is standing there. It's your own shadow. Sometimes children, the shadow falling on the wall, they get scared. They cry. So this praising. Then they thought the praise alone is not enough. We have to give some gift also. Mere praise is not enough. Gods know this is an empty praise. So give the gods some gift. So Indraya Swaha, Varunaya Swaha, ghee, and then this dung cake, cow dung cakes, ghee, and depending upon what is available. Here it is coconut shells. When you go to North India, cow dung cakes, ghee, or those things are given to gods. So gods eat shana matrana. Gods only look at it, they don't consume. They don't consume. Like we, at the age of 60, thorough diabetics, so you look at payasam and you water your mouth. That's all what you do. So gods don't eat, they only eat Kshanamatra. They look and admire. Oh, very good food. You just, that's a satisfaction. because they are thoroughly diabetic. Intelligent, no work there, no work, no nothing. In Sargaloga, Sargaloge bhayam kinjanasti tatrastum janaya vivedi upetirtua ashanaya pibase shogadigo modadaya Sargaloga. No work, only enjoyment. And hence they are diabetic, their BP is high, and then the kidney is failing, devas. Because of the intelligence. So they learned, just look at it, hitchana matrena, they don't take. So whatever you offer, even Ganesha, if you offer modagam, Ganesha doesn't eat, fortunately. I give modagam, and if the Ganesha, you close your eyes and when you open, all the modagam disappeared. Will you give a Ganesha again now? Only one miserable modagam you will give. So Ganesha doesn't want. Your parents also, they don't want anything from you. If you give 100 rupees to your father, he will put it in your account, and matching amount also he put. So when after some time, you got a lot of money, because they don't want your money. God's also. So you start giving things to God, a kind of bribing you give them. That is the homa part. And gods may bless you with the cattle and cows and prosperity and victory in war, all those things you get. And then you accomplished all your material wishes, and then what? Then what? Everything is there. But something is missing, something is rotten in the state of Denmark, as they say. Something is missing. That is where you understand what I am seeking is something lasting. Nahi adhruveshu dhruvamiha prarthayante. What I am seeking is something lasting, and that realization is very, very important. So Veda and Vedanta, my point was that. So Stuti, then rituals, then you are little disappointed, and then you are turning inward. So ye yadaiha karmachudo logachiyade tadamutra punnichudo logo vishiyade. Just as whatever you create here is perishable, so too whatever punya you earn, you go to Sarga and then exhausta. Then you come back. Then again you start. Again you go back. This coming and going, coming and going. I am tired of this. So ye yadaiha karmachudo logachiyade tadamutra punnichudo logo vishiyade. Then what should I do? So I am seeking something dhruvam. And dhruva cannot be created by adhruva. Dhruva means perishable object. You cannot weave something imperishable out of that. Then what should I do? That's the time you go to the forest. Or ashram. These days forests are not there. You go to the ashram, you say. So from grahastha, you become a vanaprastha or sannyasta. Garhasthyam to vanaprastha. So you come to the ashram and sit there and study and then meditate. Those things you do. So Veda promises heaven. Vedanta promises moksha, you say. That's the difference. Veda promises amanayasya kriyartatvad anarthakyam atadarthanam. The Vedic Mimamsaka say, Veda tells you what to do. They creates a desire in you. Desire to do this ritual. The desire prompted by need for children, heaven, comforts, power, etc. They create a desire. Veda creates a desire in you. And you perform various rituals. Vedanta removes a desire. Vedanta removes desire. A certain knowledge creates desire. Certain knowledge removes desire. How is that? For example, you read an advertisement. There is a new cell phone. New cell phone in the market, new car in the market. That creates a desire, isn't it? It was not there in your mind before. A new desire is generated. Then you are running behind. You sell the old car and buy the new car. Desire. So that is one way, knowledge creating a desire. Then there are sometimes knowledge remove the desire. For example, you push your glasses over your head, let's say. You are reading, you need glasses, you are reading, then the grandchild comes and he pulls the newspaper, and then you want to play with the grandchild. Then you push the glasses above your head, on your forehead, and then grandchild after some time runs away. Then you want to read the newspaper again. Now where is the glass? You start searching for the glass. Call everyone, did you take the glass? My glasses. Where did it go? You pull all the drawers, look into that, look here and there. A lot of search for the glass which is already sitting on your forehead. Then your wife comes and tells your glass is sitting on your forehead. You won't accept that. How do you know? How do you know? You don't know anything. So you will not accept. Your grown-up child comes and says you will not accept. The grandson comes and says, Tata, it is on your forehead. Then, maybe. So that knowledge remove the desire, isn't it? Remove the desire. Because this accomplishment has already accomplished the same. Siddhasya siddhi. So certain knowledge removes the desire, certain knowledge produces the desire. So Veda produces a desire, noble desire, of course. But you have to work towards that. So after knowing the Veda, you have to do a lot of things. Do homa, yajna, then get Brahmins and materials, and then all the smoke. The smoke also is there. So a lot of effort. And still, the result is uncertain because you don't know whether you have done it properly. Likhnaha bhagavaha sandhita. Whereas in Vedanta, after knowledge, after knowing that the glass is on your forehead, what do you have to do to get the glass? Nothing. Nothing. So after Vedanta, there is nothing to do. I have nothing to do. I may do, but I have nothing to do. Without that, I can do. Name parthasi kartavyam trishalokesha kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam varta eva cha karmani. Out of your inner joy and inner affluence, you may do things. So Vedanta removes the desire. Veda creates the desire. After knowing the self, you don't have to do anything to get the self because you are already the self. Whereas Vedic knowledge, after knowing the mantras, ritualistic details, you have to perform it. You have to wait to get the result. And the result is uncertain because you are not sure whether you did all the rituals properly. Sometimes you cut corners, isn't it? Even in the rituals, you cut corners. So this way, there is a gulf of difference between Veda and the Vedantic pursuit. One is Bodhya Bodham. The Vedanta make you know who you are, Bodhya. Atman is Bodhya. And the scripture is Bodhagam. Whereas Veda, the scripture is Chodagam. It creates desire in you. Chodhya Chodagam. This is Bodhya Bodhagam. That is the difference. So, Vedantartha Vijarena. And what is the Artha of Vedanta? Self, Satchidananda Atma. That is the Artham. Artha, the meaning of Vedanta. Vedantartha Vijarena Jayade Jnanamuttamam. With this, you get the supreme knowledge. Supreme, Uttama Jnana. Supreme knowledge. This is not an objective knowledge, but the subjective knowledge. Tena, by that knowledge, Atyantika samsara dukkhanashaha. So you are free from desire for happiness. I should qualify that. You are free from the desire for happiness. Why? Your nature is happiness. And you externalize it. The happiness is taken out of you, alienated. And you work toward that happiness. What a foolish thing is this. Happiness which you already are, you are throwing it out and then working for them. Discover that within you. So, tena atyandika samsara dukkha nashaha bhavadi. Anu means indeed. Indeed, you can put an end to your search for good. There is no more search. And thereafter, you can move about in the world as a happy person is. Not for second rule. First rule is detached engagement. Second rule is don't work for happiness, but work happily. That's the second rule. I am condensing the whole Veda into 2-3 rules. Don't work for happiness, but happily. How can I do that? Know yourself. Know yourself. And then discover that innate happiness. Okay, having said that, the Guru says, but you need certain qualifications being repeated again. Shraddha bhakti dhyana yogat mumukshoho mukter hedun vakti H.H.Sw.Bodhananda. I think sometimes he breaks into prose. Sometimes Shankara breaks into prose. Yo va edeshu eva tishtatyamushya moksho avidya kalpidat deha bandhad. So what you need is Shraddha. Shraddha, Guru Vedanta Vakya, Shraddha, we have seen all that. Bhakti, a loving disposition, a loving, trusting disposition. Bhakti. Dhyanam, reflectivity, ability to reflect rather than react. Dhyanam. Yoga. So all these are the yoga, all these are practice you have to make. Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana Yogad. Mumukshoho, this mumukshu, those who want spiritual realization. Muktehe hedun vakti H.H.Sw.Bodhananda. The words of the scripture says, these are the things you have to practice. For what? For mukti, yes, for moksha. What is moksham? Sarupa jnanam. What is sarupam? Satchidananda Atma. These are the things you should know. So, Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yogat Mumukshoho Muktehe Hedun Bhakti Gihi H.H.Sw.Bodhananda. The words of the scripture says all that. And Yaha va edeshu eva tishtadi. Whoever practices this, edeshu eva tishtadi, this whatever has been said, amushya, to that person, mokshaha is freedom. There is freedom for that person. Freedom from what? Avidya kalpa. So we have seen freedom from, freedom for. Freedom from fear, suffering. Freedom for to express your joy in the world through whatever you are doing. So two kinds of freedom. Freedom from want, fear, and freedom for to manifest your innate nature. Both are necessary. So yova edeshu tishtadi, those who practice Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yogam, amushya, to that person, mokshaha, avidya kalpidat deha bandhat. So very interesting. So here is moksham from your body identification. What is moksham? Freedom. Freedom means from your identification with this limited body, the bag of filth. At this point we are embracing that. This is me. Somebody asks you, who are you? I am a 6 feet tall person. I am fair. Everything is connected with the body. Body is only a vehicle, like a car or a computer. You should not identify with it. You should use it. Keep it in good condition, roadworthy. So exercise, right kind of diet. So these are important. So keep it as look at the body as a vehicle. You don't identify with the car, do you? You don't. This is my car, I am not the car. This is my donkey, I am not the donkey. This is my buffalo, I am not the buffalo. What I have, I am not. So, moksha is very clearly defined here. Moksha is freedom from your identification with the body. Limited body, mortal body. And your subtle body also, your mind. That also is a vehicle. Memories, again another vehicle. Ego is another vehicle. You assume many egos. Your office ego is different from your home ego. Office you are a lion, home you are a mouse. Isn't it? Your ego with reference to a grandchild is different from your grown-up child. Grandchild you melt like butter. But when you meet your teenage son, you are firming up. So this way your ego keeps shifting. In the temple, your ego is different from the Lions Club, let's say. So your ego also is very flexible, and you keep on changing the ego. Beyond is your true nature. So freedom is freedom from this body, mind, ego complex, so that you can use it effectively. This requires a lot of training, a lot of exercise is necessary. How to discipline the body and all that. So here it's very clearly said, mokshaha avidya kalpidad deha bandhad. Bondage, your attachment to the body due to ignorance. You don't know your true nature. Therefore you are falling for anything. So you are not giving up the body, you are only take the body as some vehicle through which you can reach your destination. Keep it in good condition. So let us say, avidya mokshaha avidya kalpidad deha bandhas, he says. That is the moksha. So these things have to be very clear. What we mean by moksham. So moksha is not getting out of the body. Moksha is living in the body and use it as a vehicle. Continuing. Ajnana yogat paramatmanastava hyanatma bandhaha tada eva samsridihi tayo vivekodita bodhavannihi ajnana karyam pradahe samulam. So the diagnosis, the problem, identify the problem, put a circle around the problem, then you have to diagnose. Problem is I am suffering. I am not happy. And the diagnosis is, why are you not, because when suffering means this chasing your desires. Desire is like a fire. The more you feed it, the more it becomes ablaze. That's my problem. So this desire for happiness, let me put it very precisely, desire for happiness, security, is caused by ignorance. Atma jnanam. We know all this. Not that we don't know. We have been hearing it since 50 years, isn't it? Ajnanam, ajnanam, ajnanam. Avidya, avidya, avidya. We have been hearing, but you have not invested your emotions into that, in that understanding. So, ajnana yogat paramatmanaha tava. Sajnana yogam. Ajnana is ignorance. Yoga means association with ignorance. You are in the spell of ignorance, grip of ignorance. Ignorance has put a veil over the Atman. Ignorance itself is a veil over the Atman. And you are seeing only this veil, not the truth behind. Sajnana yoga. That is another kind of yoga. Ajnana yoga. Due to this ignorance, Paramatmanaha tava. You are Paramatma, you see. So yoga means sambandha. Because the ignorant, you the Paramatman. So when you hear Paramatma, your drishti goes up, isn't it? Paramatma is sitting somewhere there. So Atma, Paramatma, Jivatma, Paramatma, Purushottama. So who is that Purushottama? Who is that Paramatma? Here the Guru says, Paramatmanaha tava, you are that Paramatma. And then you are going around with a microscope or a stethoscope, periscope, looking for this Paramatman, you see. You are a fool, you see. So, you are externalizing the Paramatma. You are alienating Paramatma from yourself. So, Paramatmanaha tava, you are, not the body. The body, mind, ego complexes can be dissolved into Panchabhutas, Trigunas and etc. Body is like a bubble which arises in you and disappears. It has no lasting significance at all. That is true. After 90 years, body disappears. 90 years just goes like that. So understanding the body, mind, etc. like a wave or bubble that arises in the oceanic consciousness, and that consciousness is me. You shift your attention to that consciousness. Sajnana yogat paramatmanaha tava. Tava means you. Guru says, you are the Paramatman. You are the Purushottama. Thou imau purusha loge, isn't it? We chant that. Thou imau purusha loge, sharascha akshara evacha, sharas sarvani bodhani, kudusto akshara uchyade. Uttama purushaha to anyaha. So there are two purusha. Sharapurusha and Akshara Purusha. So you can say Sharapurusha is the Jivatma, Akshara Purusha is the Ishvara, Saguna Ishvara. Uttama Purusha is Nirguna Brahman, which is your nature. So thus we have to understand. So Ajnana Yogat Paramatmanastava, He Anatma Bandhaha. So not knowing your nature, you are attaching to these objects outside. That attaching. So you are lost your connection. Then you are attaching to this. You give a lot of value to these things and you devalue yourself. When you devalue, the value of the other currency goes up, isn't it? Rupee devalued, then dollar value goes up. So similarly, when you devalue, you give more value to your possession, body and then thoughts and then memories and then ego and then all other possessions, you give more value. So Ajnana yogat paramatmanastava anatma bandhaha tadeva samsrudi say. And this body mind is prakriti. Prakriti keep moving. So Bhagavan says, you are attaching to the prakriti, identifying with the prakriti, and the prakriti's change and etc. affects you. So detach from the prakriti by observation. Sajnana yoga tayor vivekodita bodhavannihi. So one has to do the viveka, you say. What is the viveka? Atma anatma vivekam. Now you may think, I have heard it several times. You are repeating the same thing. I thought Vivekachoodamani will say something else. I came to Vivekachoodamani thinking that I will hear a different story. Same story is being said. There is nothing different, he said. There is nothing new. Truth is always old. There cannot be something new. Of course, you can create new things. But truth is always the oldest. At the same time, it is always new. Puradana, Purayeva Navam is. It's always new. But it's the oldest also. So don't think Vivekachoodamani will say something different. What is said in Bhagavatam, Narayaniyam, Bhagavad Gita or Upanishad, same thing is being said here. So if you are looking for something new, don't come. There is oldest wisdom that we are imparting. So tayoho vivekaha. What is the vivekam? Anatma bandha, anatma and paramatma. That viveka. Tayoho vivekaha. Anatma and paramatma. Or Swarubatma. Tayoho viveka. That ability to distinguish, to separate, to differentiate between the Paramatman and Anatman, he says. Atma Anatma Viveka. So when you do that Viveka, Bodhavannihi, the light of knowledge arises, he said. Bodhavanni. To that Viveka, through the gaps, sometimes he says the gaps between the inhaling and exhaling, between two thoughts, between two heartbeats, there is a space. In that space, the fire of knowledge arises. It's called Bodha Vanni. So, Tayor Viveka Bodha Vanni. So, creating that gap is always important. That's why you take a breath, pause, breathe out, pause, breathe in, pause, increase the gap. And those gaps, you can see the Lord is in. Or you can be the Lord. The heartbeat, or the swell and the fall of your stomach walls. There is certain rhythm there. Rhythm there. Or Om, Om, Om. Between two Om there is a silence, isn't it? You cannot continue to say one big Om, not possible. Some people try it. Oh, and then they hold the breath. But after some time you have to stop it. Then another Om starts. So between those Oms, there is a amatra gap, matra and amatra. In that amatra, in that silence, you can see the face of Krishna, I say, in that silence. So, tayor vivekodita bodhavannihi, the fire of knowledge or the jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kuruti. Tayor vivekodita bodhavannihi ajnana karyam pradahe samulam. It destroys or burns down the ajnana, ignorance prompted desire, desire prompted activities, and activities created outcomes, and outcome generated pseudo happiness, let me say. All this completely burnt down, lock, stock and barrel, everything is destroyed. Samulam. So mula is ignorant. Along with that, the branches, everything is destroyed. I put the ashes on my forehead, he said. So both the sthula, sushma, karana, manifestation of the ajnana, everything is burned down, and then I splash 3 lines over my forehead. That's a declaration of my status as a spiritual person, he said. I reduced everything into ashes. So, tayor vivekodita bodhavannihi ajnana karyam pradahes samulam. Pradahes means completely destroyed. Continuing. Shishya uvaja. So, Shishya heard all this. So, he got some key words. What are the key words? Ajnanam, Paramatma, Atma, Samsaram, Moksham. These keywords. Now he is using those words to ask questions. Now he defines his question in a different way. Earlier he was just crying, weeping. I am suffering from this Davanalan and all that. So here now he is little more sophisticated in his expression. He got the key words from the Guru. And he is trying to redefine his questions now. Earlier he was crying, isn't it? Blabbering. And now he is reframing his question because he got the right words now. So he says, Guru Shishya, Shishya uvacha, Kribaya Shruyadam Yas Swamin. प्रश्नोऽयं क्रियते मया यदुत्तरमहं श्रुत्वा कृतार्थस्यां भवान्मुखात् कृपया श्रूयतां स्वामिन् प्रश्नोऽयं क्रियते मया यदुत्तरमहं श्रुत्वा कृतार्थस्यां भवान्मुखात्. The disciple says, Kripaya Shruyadam Swamin. Earlier he used to Prabho, now Swamin. Oh Master, please lend your ears to my question, he said. Shruyadam, please listen to me. Kripaya, out of your compassion for me, consideration for me, listen to my question. Now I can articulate my question a little more clearly. Earlier I was just crying and blabbering in between. Now I can ask you the question in a philosopher's way. Kripaya Shruyadam Swamin Prashnoyam Kriyade Maya. This is my question, Prashna. Prashna means a question, Samshaya and Prashna. Samshaya means Kodidvayam. You have two ideas. Tell me what is better. Here Samshaya, question. I have a question. Prashna, a question. Prashnoyam Kriyade Maya. Yaduttaramaham Shrutva. And listening to that answer, Kridartasyam, I will become Kridartaha, fulfilled. So your answer will give me the lasting fulfillment. All my doubts will be cleared. I will have tremendous clarity by listening to your answer. Kridam artham yena kridartha. Who feel that I have arrived. I am at home. I am arrived. I am at home. I have no more question. Kridartha. Kridarthatam is very important. Kridarthatam. You feel I am okay. I have arrived. So Kridarthasyam Bhavan Mukha Shrutva. And I have to listen directly from the horse's mouth. A lot of people are talking to me, but I want to hear from you. I respect you, I regard you. I want to Bhavan Mukha. I have to directly listen from the horse's mouth. This is my question. So he uses the same word, same terminologies, categories used by the Guru. And he is asking this question. Now there is a little more clarity for you. Ko nama bandha kadhamesha gadaha Katham pradeshtasya katham vimokshaha Ko savanatma paramakka atma Tayor viveka kathame daduchyada. This you must by heart. Ready-made question for you. You don't have to struggle to figure out what question. Ready-made question. A packet of question. Or a bucket of question. Ready-made question. So what are the questions? What is again? Ko nama bantha kadamesha gadaha Katham pradishtasya katham vimokshaha Ko savanatma paramakka atma Tayor viveka kadame daduchyada. So the Guru expects you to learn this sloka by heart. So let us see the Padachedam. Kaha nama ayam bandha, I say. What is this bondage? What is the meaning of that? What is that? I feel it, but I am not able to put my finger on that. What is this thing called bondage? I am not bound, I am free, I can go anywhere. I am not in a prison also. I am my own master apparently. So you say I am bound, but I don't have any chain on my leg. So what is this bandha? It's a philosophical, spiritual concept. The bond. What is this bondage? What is the prison house you are talking about? So kaha ayam bandha nama. This thing called a bandha, bondage. Katham me sagata. Where did it come from? Who put me in this? This bondage, the suffering, who made it for? Who made this suffering for? Is my karma or Ishvara? Or is it randomly happening? What is the cause for this suffering? Some people say my karma, I did some bad karma, therefore I am suffering. Then my next question, why did I do that? Why did I do that? I don't do it knowingly. Maybe I am ignorant, that's ignorance in the problem, isn't it? So karma. Is my karma or somebody's karma? Or collective karma, samashti karma? Or is it Ishvara doing all this? Then there is a problem. Ishvara is compassionate. He won't cause this suffering for me. I worship this Ishvara. Why should he cause this suffering for me? That is not Ishvara. Is it my genes? Is it my genes? Or is it in the environment? Or is it my neighbor causes this misery? So, what is the meaning of bandham? Bondage. Apparently I don't feel any bondage. So, Konama bandha kadhamesha agada. Where did it come from? What is the source, the origin? You can go on backward seeking the source of this bondage. It can be desire, it can be ignorance. So who caused the ignorance? Who put that dark patch in the sun? Whose ignorance is that? My ignorance? Or somebody put that ignorance into me? What is the locus of that ignorance? It seems that I am a product of the ignorance. So ignorance preceded me. Isn't it? These are all questions you can ask. You will never be bored, I tell you. Don't you say I am bored with life. You will never be bored with these kind of questions when you ask. So where did it come from? Not only where did it come from, kadam pradishtasya, where it is located. Is it in the mind or intellect or somewhere else? Or is it in Brahman? And you say there is only Brahman, isn't it? Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. So where is this ignorance sitting? Where did it come from? Where it is located? It cannot be in Brahman. And there is only Brahman. Then you say, ignorance. You are confusing. You are confusing me, he says. Kadam pradishta asya. Kadam vimoksha. And how do I get out of this ignorance? It came from nowhere. It can come anytime. Even if I run away from that. Isn't it? So I can run away, but ignorance will chase me. It came from nowhere. So, kadam vimoksha. How do I? It seems that there is no cause for ignorance. If there is no cause, how do I remove it? Because I can remove the cause and remove the effect. Ignorance seems to be causeless. It came from nowhere. So, kadam pradesh. So, you are only complicating the problem. Kadam pradishtasya kadam vimoksha. How do I liberate myself from that? Kaha asau anatma. What is the anatma you are talking about? You say there is only Brahman. Sarvam khalu idam Brahman. Then you introduce another word. Are you mad, Guruji? Shishya is now got some strength. Because Guru's presence, he got some strength. So he is asking some unpleasant, inconvenient question. What is this anatma? And you say there is only one, and then you introduce another word, anatma. Then you say there is paramatma. What is that? Anatma, paramatma, jivatma. Guruji, you are confused, you are confusing me. Confusion, confound. So, I am using the word that you used. And I have some faculty of thinking, the Shishya is using that. Kosavanatma, paramakatma, tayor vivek. How do you separate them? How do you separate darkness from light? How do you separate? Because when light comes, darkness goes. When darkness comes, you don't see the light. How do you separate? So this Viveka, differentiation, Tayoho Viveka Katham Edada Uchyadam. So how do I differentiate Edada Uchyadam? Please explain to me now. All those things. The Shishya uses the philosophical, spiritual terminologies used by the Guru and asking questions. Now his questions have got a certain clarity. So reflecting upon the question also is very, very important. So let us read it once again. Ko nama bandha kathamesha gadaha katham pradishtasya katham vimokshaha ko savanatma paramaka atma tayor vivega kathame daduchyada. So now the Guru has entrapped the Shishya into the stream of spiritual, because earlier he didn't have the vocabulary. So this is how he influenced thinking. You give you the vocabulary, the words, and then you can clearly express your anguish, your problem. Words are necessary, otherwise you cannot think. So there are words in your brain. So you arrange those words and symbols. Words are symbols to represent some fact, let's say. I say apple. The word represents something, isn't it? What does it represent, the apple? Some apple there, some edible fruit, which has got a size and shape and all that. So the words represent fact, truth, most of the time. Sometimes they may not. Some words may not represent anything. Gagabuga doesn't represent anything, you say. I can use words like that. It doesn't represent anything. So most of the time the words represent that fact, and then you are moving these words. In the process you are rearranging the fact and the object outside. So here he got appropriate words. So word called bandham, bondage. Samsaram. Then moksham, another word. Atma, anatma, vivegam. Those words gives him some clarity to the Shishya. So I expect you to by heart this. Ko nama bandha kadamesha gadaha katham pradishtasya katham vimokshaha ko savanatma paramakatma tayor vivega kathame daduchyadam. Please explain to me. So as the child grows up, initially the child doesn't have vocabulary, isn't it? No words. So he will say blabber. Child only blabbering. As a child becomes 12, 13, she picks up words and then expresses her thought or feelings very clearly. Communicate. So communication is through words and sentences. And words should reflect a fact. Otherwise word has no meaning. Word has no meaning. So this way, he uses these words to express the student's problem. My problem is, I am suffering, use of the word. So this we'll see later. So Guru was very happy. Now Guru has got answers because he is using his language now. His language. Atma, anatma, vivegam, vairagyam, etc. Now we can engage in a discussion. Otherwise, discussion is not possible. I use a word, you don't know the meaning, and you use a word, I don't know the meaning. What kind of communication is possible? So we should have agreed, commonly accepted, agreed words, and with their meaning. Now Guru says, Dhanyosi. Now we are on the same page, he said. We are on the same page. When I use a word, I know the meaning I have in mind, you also have in mind. So this kind of running around for some time is necessary to get into the flow of thinking. So Shishya and Guru is on the same page. They use the same language, same vocabulary. These vocabularies determine how you think, how you process information. Words play a very important role in processing information, communication, thinking, reflection, etc. So we'll see. Just a minute. So let us, with our eyes closed, stay for some time, repeating this question. Ko nama bandha, katham esha gadaha, katham pradishtasya, katham vimoksha, ko savanatma, paramakatma, tayor vivekaha, katham edad uchyadam. Let these words define your thought. These keywords. Earlier you couldn't express your anguish in words. Every knowledge system has their own vocabulary, their own symbols of thinking. As physics, science, mathematics, or economics, history, or medicine, law. There's special meaning for the words. And the whole universe is nothing but word. Nama Rupa Prapancham. Or Shabda Brahman. Or Mandratmiga Manah. So we repeat this question, Ko nama bandha, katham esha gadaha, katham pradishtasya, katham vimoksha, ko savanatma, paramakka atma, tayor vivekaha, katham edad uchyadam. That's why language plays an important role in your thinking and finding answers and that sense of well-being. Sanskritam, Greek, German, English, Chinese, Japanese, these language define their culture and their sense of well-being. Sanskritam was the language of our forefathers. It is there in our DNA. So these words can speak to you very deeply. Which defines our culture and sense of being. Our ideas about gods, ideas about freedom. So we repeat this question, Kodam bandha kadamesha gadaha, katham pradishtasya katham vimuksha, kosavanatma paramakatma, tayor viveka kathame daduchyadam. Oh. പൂർണ്ണമദ പൂർണ്ണമിദം പൂർണ്ണാത് പൂർണ്ണമുദച്യതേ പൂർണ്ണസ്യ പൂർണ്ണമാദായ പൂർണ്ണമേവാവശിഷ്യതേ. ഓം ശാന്തി ശാന്തി ശാന്തി. ഹരി ഓം. ശ്രീ ഗുരുഭ്യോ നമഃ. ഹരി ഓം.